Hi,
Hello.
are you good?
I'm good. How are you?
All good, all good.
How
Stop,
is
stop.
quarantine treating you?
I think we're all in the same boat, aren't we? I think
Yeah.
we're all going a little mad, but it's not really that hard to be staying at home, is it? So
Yeah, it's not the worst. I think once you have a little bit of a structure with your day and you're
yeah,
doing like a little bit of exercise, trying to do a little bit of work or reading or learning or doing something new, I
yeah.
think that's kind of the key, isn't it?
Definitely key. Routine is key, but
Hmm.
it's been great for me because I've been obviously having my own gym and things. You never get much time to yourself and do any exercise, but I've got two two daughters, so we're spending time with them at home and plenty of exercise myself. So yeah, I'm quite
I
enjoying
think
it.
that's one of the positives I think that a lot of people are taking out of this is that they are getting to spend a lot of time with their families.
Yeah,
All the fighters that I've spoken with, that's been the one thing that they've been like, this is the best. My
yeah, we
kids don't know what's going on. They have dad home now.
yeah. I mean, my children are 18 and 20, so they're mature young women. So it's like it's not been hard work. We're not having to stress around looking after kiddies and keeping them occupied. It's been quite relaxing and things, but I mean it's serious what's going on out there. So we're just doing our bit, keep it on, keeping safe, and
Hmm.
kind of what will be kind of thing.
So, in terms of the gym and your fighters and their training and structure, what have you been doing?
Well, we've got a commercial gym. We've got a really big setup. We've got our own amateur setup, and we're open to public. We have schools coming in, so we're only from a village. We're just
Mm.
villagers. So my gym is in Arctic Village. So it's had a knock on effect for all us that community really because there's
Hmm.
nowhere now for anyone to go. So regarding obviously we closed kind of at the beginning and everything, so we've been closed a while now. But uh, pro boxing, it's about being professional. These are adults. They're all, I manage over 20 fighters, and there's at least 15 in my gym that we train and works from my gym, and they're all adults. They're all on social media. They're all putting out what they're doing. They're all tagging me in stuff and things, and you know, we're adults, aren't we? We're not children.
Hmm.
It is professional boxing. So anyone that's not in the gym or has struggled with motivation, I don't understand that. But when things are back to green light for them to go to work, it's like it's not going to be my problem, or that they've not kept the sense right kind of thing. So yeah, it's the gym's been a big miss. It'll be a big miss for just local keep fitters and things, and the kids.
Hmm.
We've got 50 kids coming in there in the amateur club, so it's very disappointing for them. But yeah, we're all adults. We've been dealt with these cards, and it's how we roll with them, kind of thing.
I hear you. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about your career, kick
Yeah,
off, talk about yourself, and for everyone that's watching, we do this thing at the end where they can drop in their questions throughout the interview, and
right.
then I'll ask them at the end.
Yeah, yeah, no
Um,
problem.
but I think it's safe to say for somebody that's still in boxing, working in boxing, surrounded by fighters, you've probably had the most 360 of experience in terms of being a fighter yourself, a
Yeah,
promoter, a manager, a coach, a world champion coach at that.
yeah.
I imagine that must instill a massive amount of confidence in your fighters now to know that they're surrounded by a coach that has walked the walk essentially.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, I had my first. I boxed amateur, local, same again in the village where we're from. I've never moved. We've settled here.
Is this in Doncaster?
It's in yeah. I live in a village called Conisborough. There's two villages side by side. It's called Conisborough and Denby Main, and the two. We're just on out. We're bang in middle of Rotherham and Doncaster. That's why we have a mixed accents. We're not quite like And then the nearest city to us is Sheffield. So we're probably the villages where we live is like probably 10 mile from Doncaster, 10 mile from Rotherham. We're bang central to them. So yeah, and so yeah, I boxed amateurs. I had 44 amateur fights from 11-year-old up to 17, and I turned pro at 17. John Joe Irwin were boxing at the time, Irishman, Dublin actually, who lives in the same village. He boxed pro, and he was a big inspiration to us all when we were young. He won the Commonwealth Games gold medal, won the ABAs and stuff. So everybody aspired to be like John Joe when we were kids. So yeah, I turned pro at 17. I had my 18th birthday in May, and I've made my debut on a Matchroom show in June the same year. So I was actually the youngest pro in Britain.
Wow.
I boxed for England, young England. I never won a national title. I got beat in semi-finals, but I always lost to good kids, Isham, Pickering and stuff. And I've been in, so I had a good junior experience.
Was it a family member, Stefy, that brought you to the gym that first time, or was it yourself?
Just random, not a boxing family. My best friend, who's still my best friend now, his mum was the youth worker in the where the boxing club was. And we weren't old enough to go to youth club. I think you had to be 13, 14 to go to youth club. But she kind of gave us a loophole. She says, if you go to the boxing, you can get through from being in with boxing. Mm-hmm. So there were about 5 of us. There was an handful of us that went to gym. And my first ever session in the gym, I sparred with a coach, and he busted my nose. And crazy, really, when you realize it was just an addiction. I just like, my friends never went back, and I just never left. But it's made me like, I think I did, when I was at school, I got 5 GCSEs, season of GCSEs back then, so season above. But boxing gave me like routine. It gave me something in life. It gave me, I got to school, and like some of my friends were off wagging it or just going out field, missing lessons, and it rained and stuff like that. And like, I just couldn't get, like, why are you doing that? And all I was thinking about is when school finished at 3 o'clock, get home, get me 10p, and get to amateur club and boxing.
So is that memory that you have of that time, would that have been a major contributing factor to, when you finish fighting, deciding then to go into coaching, going into management, setting up your own gym then?
Yeah, everything happened just naturally. It was just like, it's the only thing in life that I can do without even thinking. Anything boxing, it's not like you think on, like now I'm doing a promotion, I've got a 10-fight card, I'm the matchmaker, I'm in the back wrapping my own fighters' hands. When they're in, I'm doing cuts, and it's like there's no stress. It's what I do. Now, if you sat me down and gave me numbers to think about, or talked about some history and geography and stuff, I'd not be able to cope. But I've probably got a degree in boxing, if there was. But just experience and just not being afraid, being happy. I go to bed on a night like I'm 43 in a couple of weeks, and I'm like, I go to bed on a night just thinking about what I'm going to do next morning in gym. We fight with my fighters that I work with, or I'd be thinking what path, who am I matching them with, and you just not just one fighter, it's just for all of them. But it's not even hard work. It's just kind of what I do, if you get me. It's not. I do. There's no stress and just. Yeah.
I imagine as well, when you put your head in the pillow at night, there's a great degree of like satisfaction and pride and happiness that you're doing something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, 100%. I'm blessed to get up in the morning and earn a living doing something that I absolutely love. There's not many people doing that. How many people are getting up? Oh, I've got to go to work. There's people still now getting up and going in factories and everything else. God bless them. And there's people in work that ain't got to. So I'm blessed. And to be doing something that's, when you're around these big events, such as over the years, Jamie McDonald, Gavin McDonald, and now Terri Harper, and like, you're blessed because like nothing ever lasts forever. And there's some managers and promoters out there that'll go through boxing and never have a British champion. And I've consistently had British champions, Commonwealth champions. I worked with Jamie McDonald up to winning world title. Now Terri Harper from day one, intercontinentals, and it's like I'm blessed, and I do appreciate everything. But it's got to a time now that it's not. It's just what it is. There's no like, I mean, Terry going to win that. One of the best, probably the best day in boxing for me, because having a in and around from a girl to winning it, to win a WBC champion, and you're just like, you know what? I woke up next day and I were expecting a little bit more, but it's just what we do, kind of thing. So I just appreciate it.
I do definitely want to speak about Terry, because it's obviously a massive part of your story as well.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
before we do, when you started coaching,
Yeah.
and you envisioned the role that you wanted to have in a fighter's life, could you have imagined that
No,
it would have been a woman that would have given you all those accolades?
Not one bit. I mean, I talk about it with people who are close around me, and to think after all these years, I mean, even though I'm only 43, I've been in professional boxing 25 years, and it's a long time, and I've gave my life for 25 years, and to think where I am now with a girl, I wouldn't never have dreamed it, never have imagined it. So it's brilliant to be sat there, and Terri can probably be face of women's boxing on the world scene, not just British, on the world scene for many years. She's that good. But I've worked with many good fighters over the years that like come and go and forget. Robbie Barrett's one of my success stories. Robbie was an half and half amateur, come from our amateur setup. He lost to one of the poorest, or what stated the poorest journeyman in Andy. What's it called? He lost to a journeyman early on in his career, in about his 5th or 6th fight, and to think he'd go on to win Commonwealth, I mean to win British as an 8-1 underdog against Scott Cardle, who were flying high 20-0, and he went, you know, it's like these are just normal kids. They've not come from that GB and to go. So I've been blessed to have had many great nights with them kind of kids. And it's as big as anything going and boxing for a WBC world title. So yeah, it's and I'd have never when I was still fighting, when I was training Jamie McDonnell. I think I retired in my last fight with Curtis Woodhouse was in 2010 on that one on Sky Sports, and Jamie was defending his European. And so after I'd lost to Curtis, I was out, got myself ready, and I was back in ring with Jamie a fight after. So it's just come naturally. It's not no, it's been envisioned, no, it's been planned. I was training, even when I was boxing pro, I was training amateurs. I won a couple of national titles with a young lad from an amateur club and stuff. So it's just what I've always done, and just I seem to have got this. I can express and explain to a fighter what's right and what ain't right. Now, that might sound a bit... In boxing, there's no right way or wrong way to train a fighter. There's a way that works and the way that maybe don't work. But I've been there as a fighter myself, and I've boxed at an high level. But I know that I weren't good enough. But one thing's for sure, when I was fighting, I gave it my all. I did full training camps. I was dedicated. And when I got beat, it's because I wasn't good enough. And I understand. I'm not like, God, I know what level as a fighter was. I'm not delusional. And I just wasn't good enough, because when I stepped up, I wasn't good enough to beat the next stage kids. But I'm honest enough, and I understand enough how to explain where to go wrong, or where, you know, I can get it across. And I've just had some connections with some fighters that's worked fantastic, and we've gone and done great things. So yeah, nothing's been hard, nothing's been planned. It's just happened.
Well, there's an interesting word that you just used there, and it's the words delusion.
Yeah.
Or deluded.
Just when I was boxing, there were no social media. This wouldn't have been happening. There were no Twitter, there were no Facebook. I turned pro in 95, and my first 8 fights was on the road in Birmingham, up and down country, in 6-ounce gloves. It was 6-ounce gloves back then. I didn't know boxing. I was 18-year-old. My manager had picked me up from my mum's house, and I was driving to fight a grown man. I know nothing about, didn't know his record. There were no box record or anything back then. And to think, I wonder how my career would have gone if it were like it is now with this social media. You've got some fighters that just are away with fairies, just like frigging hell.
Well, the question, Stefy, is, you know, is there a certain degree of delusion that's needed to be a professional fighter?
Well, I'll use Jamie McDonnell had no fear.
Mm.
He had no fear. I've sat down with him when he was European champion, and we were watching when like George Archer and all that were going, and Filipino Flash war bantamweight WBC champion. He come to our house. We watched him because we were close. He was close to fighting for WBC. He sat down. He watched 2 rounds of the Filipino Flash and walked out. Says, "Yeah, no problem. I'll beat him." And so he's got no fear. And Terri's like that now. Remember, Terri's 23-year-old, and she accepted to fight Natasha Jonas in a 5th fight. Mm. We agreed it with Eddie and stuff, and for peanuts, just because she wanted to fight an opportunity to fight somebody that good, they knocked it back. Now she's fighting Natasha for 10 times the purse she was getting, and for a lot more, and she's 5 times the fighter she was then. So you've got some fighters who have got no fear, and they're the most dangerous. They're prepared. They've got no fear. You don't scare them. You don't ruffle them. They will fight anyone. Then you've got some fighters who have got lots of fear, but don't like to admit it, and they'll come across out of character. How can you say? Well, that's my take on it. They'll come across out of character and be something that they're not. Especially, they're the ones that you find that are a bit more vocal on social media, or But listen, professional boxing's changed that much from when I was fighting. It's all about selling tickets now, and I understand it. I'm a promoter. I've got some fighters that can do 200 tickets, but they won't win a British title. Mm-hmm. And that's just how it is. I've got some fighters that probably could do 50 tickets and could win a British title. And this is the business of boxing. It's brutal. I don't agree how it is. And it's not enjoyable to be around. And, the reason why I do it is because if I didn't do it, then my fighters won't have opportunities and they won't be looked after. And that is the only reason to do it, because I don't make any money on promoting. And people can have the judgment or whatever they want on that, but I don't make money on promoting. I use my money on promoting, but it's the business of it, and it's brutal. You've got to be honest about it. I'm honest with fighters, and it's not an easy slog, but yeah, So
when you do have your fighters, because a coach is a very much not. It's not just a coach. There's so much more that goes into it, and I suppose like therapists and counselors is probably a massive part of it as well. But you kind of have to say to your fighters, yes, you're good. Yes, you have the ability. Yes, we probably will get some really good opportunities, but ultimately, we might not make it.
That is very true, and that comes as you go along. But I've got over the last since Terri's turned professional, I've dedicated myself to coaching again. I'd probably had about 4 years away from coaching. Ray Doyle, who trains fighters with me from our gym, he's the head coach, and he'd been overseeing everything because I was that busy with promoting and managing that I just didn't have time to give a fighter, because the fact is, the phone's going every 2 minutes. 2 and 3 weeks before the show, pull-outs. The phone is constant. So you can't put your energy into training a fighter and giving them the hours that they need when you've got other things. So I've only kind of been back training full-time fighters for the last 12 months. And I've been linking up with a bit of work with Ryan Rhodes on promoting, and he's took a lot of slack off. He's been putting a lot of effort into shows, whereas I've had more time to stick to my coaching. But you're right. When you're a coach, the relationship you have with a fighter is you're a mum, you're a friend, you're a sister or a brother, you're a psycho, like you say. You're with every emotion going. You're with them more than you're with your own family, and you get a special bonding. And you do form strong relationships, but you've got to stay level with the relationship that you're getting, because it's not a crime to be not good enough in boxing, and fighters have to realise that there's levels, and it's just like football. You've got your Sunday league, you've got your your league football, then you've got your Premiership. Everybody dreams of that Premiership, that world title, but how many does it? You're getting a very, very limited few. You got your good domestic fighters, but you've got to be honest with your fighter. And you do your best for them, and you give them that opportunity to at least mix it with these different levels. And when you see how they perform against these levels, then you find what level they're at. But I know my level, like you say, I wasn't delusional. I'm proud of my career as a fighter because I did my best. I just weren't good enough when I stepped up for the major titles. I got beat. I was good at my level where I'm at, but there's no crime in that. I can hold my head high because I did my best. I was out running twice a day. I put everything in. I couldn't have done any more, so I was happy and content. But some fighters will kind of think they're better than what the level is. Yeah. And that's listen, they get found out at the levels, but it's not a crime to be not good enough because only a special few make it up to world level. But it's not a crime not to be good enough in boxing. If you're doing your best, you should be so proud because it's an hard, brutal sport we're in.
Business. Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense in what you're saying there. So let's look at Terri Harper. I mean, for the achievements that she's had, like you said, at 23 years of age, she's just captivated the hearts of the boxing community. The only way to say it, she really has.
The story is, I mean, I've been out running with Terri this morning on the hills, obviously meters apart, not but she's a different. She's like Terri. It's the naivety of Terri. She doesn't realise how good she is, or she does now. She's realising and having the confidence. But it's a personality. It's how she is. And a couple of girls have mentioned something on social media yesterday. I think it was on Twitter. Is it Sherelle Brown who boxes? And she says she were wanting help, and Terri was only girl that dropped back in her DMs and gave her advice and things. And another young girl were after her some help on a dissertation for university, and she messaged a few fighters, and only Terri replied. And it's little things that makes a person.
Yeah.
And she, like Terry's been to university, she's educated, she's got a master, she's got an honours degree in sports coaching. She works in his gym. She works. We have kids in from school. She's got a personality that's unique. She can fight, and she's sells and got loads and loads of support. And it's only just the start for her. But it's the story. Yeah. There's a lot of people now what's tweeting, and she's very similar to how Ricky Hatton were loved. But she's only had she's had 5 TV fights, believe it or not. But 2 was a matchroom contract, and the reception she's getting when she's walking out. I mean, that last one against Wallstrom, you couldn't buy it. You're 6,000 people in there, and it were like she were like the main event. Understanding now where she's at, where it's leading to, and I'm very proud to be a part of it and be doing what we're doing together.
So 2 questions on that. So keeping on the theme of Terri Harper.
Yeah.
Do you believe in fate?
That's
of all the gyms, she ended up in yours.
Well, we're from, how it works is we're from the same village, so it's just a little tiny village, and we're all, so there's one tattooist, it's her dad, so all these silly tattoos I've got all over my body over the years. Her dad's tattooing me. She sat there in chair at the side when she's come home from school and things. So everybody knows everybody. We're from a village. So we were the only amateur boxing club. So Terri was keen into, when she started boxing at 11, she was keen into football, a very good footballer. And she'd just come into our amateur club. And then kind of, that's where she was. She won 3 national titles. She went to Poland and for the Europeans representing England, where she got a silver. She boxed a Polish girl in the final, and she lost on a point. So you can imagine what happened there. So she was 16 at that time. She'd only lost 1 amateur fight. She was 16, and she was very good, very special. When people were in the gym, people would stop and look at her. but she didn't realise none of this. And at that time, we had Jamie McDonnell, who just won the IBF world title. The gym were booming. We had a really good... Gavin was just on verge of his British title fight. And this were all in one gym. So we were all really booming. And then just out of the blue, after she'd won a silver medal, Terri, she just kind of disappeared. Just, you know, discovering her sexuality, the stress of exams. But because she's always been in our gym, she's done it correct. So I was running with her when she was 15, 16 at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning before school. She was training. We were doing it all correct with Jamie. So she'd had a whisper how hard it is. And it is hard for a young girl at the time. So she just kind of went missing, and we were all gutted and devastated. But obviously, because we're in the village, you still see him regular and stuff over the years. And I was just literally sat watching one of Katie Taylor's fights. And obviously, I had Gavin with Matchroom, and I know how heavily they were investing in Katie. And Katie's every young girl, she's everyone's inspiration and idol. We all love Katie. What she's done for boxing and women's boxing will be talked about for forever and a days. And I messaged Terri just randomly from me, message her on Facebook actually, and I said, Terri, what are you doing with yourself? You do know women's boxing is going to be very big, and I could make you the star. They were my kind of exact words in a nutshell. And she messaged me straight back with, like, she said, it's crazy if you've said this because I've been thinking about it for a while. So this was a Saturday night. I met her on Monday, and she signed a contract there and then. Didn't ask no questions for financial anything. This is just how she is. We signed a contract there and then. I went to the board, got her a license. From that text message, we're in July, and within 2 years, she won the IBO world title, which we did ourselves. No financial backing. We did it all ourselves. She was putting big bump. I mean, she was doing 500 tickets then, so I could afford to do the fight myself. And in the meantime, she'd been on 2 Matchroom shows, and Eddie said, keep her winning and we'll do something. But when she won the IBO and this in the atmosphere that was sold out the Rotherham Magna Centre, we got the contract a lot earlier than I imagined, kind of thing. So yeah, that is the story. I mean, 12 months ago, she was in local chip shop at Village, working at 6 o'clock in the morning, peeling potatoes, going to university, coming back to gym, then going back and even working chip shop again. And that's how she's been. She's just a normal everyday girl. She's not a partier. She's a lovely young woman, and she's very inspiring. And the story relates. That's just an ordinary girl. But don't get me wrong. Now people will get carried away. Like, oh, the average Joe will be like, yes, I'm going to go and win a W. No,
well, this is my question. What did you see in her? What makes her different?
She's just special. She's just from the same. She can do anything. She's had 10 fights at 23-year-old, and she's a worse critic after every fight. I should have done this. I should have done that. No, Terri, you had 17 amateur fights as a child. You have got everything. We see everything in gym. The only thing you haven't got is experience. We can't train for experience. We can't buy it. The only way we get experience is busy. And the plan, take this occasion, the situation we're all in, she would have had 4 or 5 fights this year. That was the plan. But everything happens for a reason, and we have to deal with what we've got. But Terri is arguably one of the... She's there and thereabouts the best fighter I've worked with. Now, for natural ability, that is. I've had a lot of fighters. I've been blessed with a lot of champions. Gavin McDonnell didn't even have an amateur fight, and we went to world level without even an amateur fight. So there's different kind of what people have got, but Terri's got natural ability that you can do something and she'll just slip. She can just do anything. But nobody's seen it yet because she's not even been out of gear. She did what she wanted with Obanoff. Probably her easiest. And even the Wallstrom fight, when she looks back now, I should have done this, No, when you're winning that easy, you're rolling with it. You don't need to do things. So a lot of people haven't seen the best of Terri. And that will happen over as we go along and get busier. But yeah, she's a special talent, and it's exciting. It's reignited me as a person to be working with Terri, because times get hard in boxing. There's times where I've thought, you know what, I've done all I needed to do, and you know, we were looking at getting out the game, and not straight away, but I had a few years planned. Now I'm like, nah, we're gonna. I've had a girl, female world champion. I've had a male world champion. I've never had undisputed. That's my goal. I want to go and win undisputed. And when if you're blessed to win undisputed, it's come on, we're going to go up a weight and have another go at this one. And so it's different goals. And she's reignited that, and she knows that. So she's so thankful to me for the opportunity she's got in life now, and she's forever saying thank you. I can get a random message off Terri, just want to thank you for everything. But I'm grateful to be blessed to be working with somebody as talented as Terri, and we work well together. So yeah, it's exciting.
It's definitely exciting. As a boxing fan, like, absolutely. And do you know what? Like, obviously Katie is she's our greatest sporting hero over here. Do you know what I mean? She really is. But it's that thing where you're like, we want to see other women achieve big. You know what I mean? We want there to be more. We want young girls to be up there, getting the big opportunities.
100%.
It's incredible to see.
The beauty for us is, like, when we've all sat, and when Katie first turned pro, we're all yes. And I were like, this is going to be interesting. Female boxing, matchroom investing. I wonder where this can go. I never in a million years imagined big bills. That last show with Katie and Terri were on in Manchester were awesome. When Katie were on, that was before Corolla, the atmosphere, I never experienced anything like it. It was special. It were unbelievable. And you look round and you're like, women's boxing, this is boxing.
Yeah.
She put in a great
detail. Yeah.
She put in a great performance, and I was sat there ringside and just in awe. A movement, she's got everything. But young girls, people don't want to get muddled up. It's like Terri gets the question asked a lot: would you fight Katie? That's her hero. Like, that's like saying to a Man United fan, would you like to go and play at Old Trafford? Of course, that's the woman you've aspired and looked up to all your life. Why would you want to be in a fight and be in a competitive fight with someone and like answer her dreams? So she's done fantastic for women's boxing, and I definitely believe over the next few years it's not going to be women's boxing. Even the WBC now are taking the female off from the belt and things, and it's going in the right direction. And I'm you know, people ask me a lot now, because I'm more obsessed with female boxing now back at Terri, because it's something new for me.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer on a night looking for you know, it's like I've become not obsessed, but so in with it that there's not much I don't know about from the girls and understanding, and it's excited me a little bit more. But what a great time to be in sport for women or young. How many young fighters are turning professional, and like Terri's the totally opposite to Katie, where Katie's gone all over the world, got all them fantastic medals, and been a leading pro all them years, where Terri's now a different type of inspiration. But the fact that she's not been on the GB, she had a good junior amateurs, but she's not, and it's like, wow, that's an ordinary girl who's not won a gold medal. She inspires the kind of people.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's fantastic, and Terri's really understanding now. Like, even though she's only 23 and so inexperienced, she's understanding where she's at, because a good win against Natasha, it's a great fight domestically for the profile of it. The first all British female world title fight. You know, Natasha's been a good amateur over the years, and deserves a world title fight. We're happy to give her an opportunity, but this is not amateur boxing anymore. There's no big head guards, there's no little gloves over 4-2s tipping and tapping and running. It's serious stuff, and Terri's very heavy-handed, and it's an exciting fight for people. It's good. It's exciting.
Listen, and it's one that we can't wait to get once all this blows over. I think everyone's excited for it, right?
We had so much planned. We were going. There were Natasha and Terry's fight. What were happening on the Friday? We were flying to New York on the Monday. We were watching Jerry Cinnamon on the Wednesday. We were flying back to Manchester on the Friday for Katie's fight in Serrano. And it's like that's the world we were living in. And then all of a sudden this has happened. It's like, well, just be nice to go for a, get out the house now. You never mind all that we're happening. So, but I'm confident that Terry's fight will happen in July behind closed doors. I think we'll see what government guidelines are over the next. But I do think there's going to be a lot of boxing behind closed doors as from July, which is great for us as boxing fans. The sad thing is, as a promoter, I don't know where it leaves us for running events, because we can't run. We out the gate. We can only run events on ticket sales. So worried what's going to happen there for the rest of my fighters.
We'll have to just play it by ear, isn't that it?
Yes.
Before I go into the question box and see the questions that everyone has left for you, one final question for yourself.
Yeah.
How would you like to be remembered?
I would like my life to be remembered is just a legacy in boxing, because I've been in it. I would have never thought I would my life to remembered, but probably my kids to be proud, and hopefully they have a nice families and healthy, and just be remembered as winning these world title things and being we're only from a village, so just be remembered for obviously boxing reasons. Yeah.
Good enough. That's good enough. Absolutely. Right, let's have a look and see what everyone's saying here. So S99 Arn, whatever that it says. When did you feel that you could become a trainer, manager, and promoter?
So everything was a natural progression. So I was still fighting, like I mentioned early on. I've always trained. I've worked with amateur boxers and things. And when I was still fighting in 2009, that's when I started training Jamie, when Jamie beat Ian Nappers for the British and Commonwealth titles. And then it just happened naturally. Trained him, got me. Then I went, it was a lot faster to get you, because I already was a license holder. I kind of got me coach's badge quite fast, kind of thing. So everything was a natural progression. And then on the back of success with Jamie, I virtually opened my gym was full. There were local amateurs that were very good, talented, that turned pro. Tommy Coward, Gavin McDonald turned pro. Robbie Barrett from our amateurs. I'd have to really sit and go back and name, but a lot of good amateurs turned pro with us. And then because I had that many fighters to start with, Carl Greaves used to manage my fighters. And me and Carl are very good friends. So I then went and got my manager's license and started managing all my own fighters, and then promoting just come because I'd kind of been. I used to sell when I fought myself, Doncaster Home. I used to sell it out myself. So the knack of promoting and understanding how it all works so it all just come natural, nothing planned. Just trainer, then manager, then promoting, and everything just come natural.
Perfect. Let me take another here.
No problem.
Caleb Riggles has asked, who is the hardest trainer at your gym?
I think it's hard to single anybody out, because anybody that don't train hard in the gym don't fight. It's as simple as that, and they all know that. And if any of them slacking, I'll put a Facebook status and let everybody know they've not been at gym tonight. But Gavin McDonald's a very hard worker, and I think he's a big inspiration to a lot of them. I've never seen his desire, and when he's got a fight, his desire and his determination is like, that's what's got him to where he has. But then it brushes off. So you've got Jason Cunningham, very, very dedicated fighter. Then you've got Anthony Tomlinson now who's coming through, and Terry. So they buzz off each other. But Terry's full-time, Anthony's full-time. Gavin's now back at work. Gavin's got a European title fight. That should have been happening in June in Spain, but obviously. So, I think all my championship level fighters all put. So I think it would be hard to say that one person.
Very diplomatic answer from Coach.
Yes, yeah.
There's a really good question that's come in here from Michael Sheeran, I think it is, and he's asked, in your opinion, what separates a regional champion from a world champion?
You've got to have the full package. It's like, I've had some fighters that have won titles, and you've just got to have the full package. Now you've got to have a good engine. Yes, that's obviously your fitness. You've got to have a good engine. You've got to be able to understand and keep calm. I've been with some fighters over the years, and they can just get in a situation in a fight, and they've just got carried away and blown the sense out, lost the fight on it. So it's having an understanding of going up and down the gears. Do you know what? To put it in a nutshell, it's just some have just got the full package, and not everybody's got it. Some are brilliant fighters and never have it, and can't. I've got the engine to go down stretch at championship level, but you've got to have the full package. And I would say the full package is not having any fear, not being intimidated, and being able to win at the highest level. And holding composure is a big thing. I've seen a lot of fighters give fights away because they've just not been able to hold the composure. So yeah, there's a lot to it. But you know, there's some fighters have got so much natural ability, but they haven't got the art when it comes to things get hard and things like that. So yeah, it's the special breed, I call them. I will make it and see it through. So. Yeah.
Well, there's a few special breeds in your gym anyway, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're doing it, mate.
Let's go take one more. Let's have a look. There's loads of comments of people just saying, like, congratulations for everything that you've done, and congratulating Terry, and looking forward to seeing what happens in the future and different things like that. Oh yes, there's a girl who always her name is Karen. She always asks the same question every night. If you could be quarantined with 5 people, dead or alive, who would you pick? And I hope she continues to put this question in because it's brilliant.
I'd go with Liam Gallagher.
Yes, Oasis are my favourite bands.
John Lennon.
Yes, go on.
I'd probably go with Noel Gallagher just for their arguing. And then Mickey Duff. I have a lot of good stories about Mickey Duff. Probably Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, there is a lineup, right?
Yeah, I'd have a blast at them.
Okay, favourite Oasis track?
Supersonic.
Yeah, go out with a classic. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Well, listen, Stefy, thank you so much for taking the time.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And you know, congratulations for everything that's been going on for the last while with yourself in the gym and all the guys. Continued success.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll get to do a proper sit down at some stage next year.
Yes, I'm sure we'll see you at a show sometime.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.